Welcome to Stuck Time to Improv. I'm Mary Scott with Business Ref, and I want startups to be wildly successful. Everybody's talking about AI, and you need a good infrastructure if you're a startup, right? So today we have Marie Patterson from InfinityPath Ventures. Thanks for coming, Marie.
Thank you for inviting me.
So let's talk about what constitutes an AI infrastructure.
So, an AI infrastructure is composed of both hardware and software. And we're talking at the server level, at the chip level for hardware, and also any type of peripheral equipment that you might need, like cooling systems, infrastructure that you would have at a data center, would also be supporting the AI infrastructure, right? And any power supplies. Some of the data centers, probably most of them have independent power supplies, either from coal or gas or nuclear power plants. Besides hardware, there's a software side. So on the software side, um, what you want to do in terms of AI infrastructure is to create what I call frictionless planes, right? And it's through these frictionless planes that we drive efficiency, right? So to redesign a server to make it more efficient, to redesign um, chips to make them more efficient, that takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of money, and you have to mass produce it, right? And it takes adoption, and adoption takes time, right? Because companies have already invested in probably a lot of NVIDIA's GPUs. Each GPU is probably over $30,000 a piece. So even if you had a new chip or a brand new server, those companies are not just going to throw away their existing equipment and buy your equipment just because you says, even if it does perform as you say, they still had that capital expenditure, right? So the first step is to have a software solution. And
Okay.
that software solution, you would want it to drive extreme efficiency at the server level,
Okay.
right?
So this is particularly for companies that sell AI as their product, right?
I think this
Or,
is for everyone,
okay,
right?
because I was thinking that there a lot of companies they make something or do something and then they use AI in their marketing or in their production or in their back end inventory, and they hire cloud services to deal with the servers and stuff. And most folks don't have servers on location.
Compute, right, which
Right.
is basically used to be able to execute AI software, is highly concentrated with four companies right
Right.
now, right? They're Microsoft Azure, AWS, Google Cloud Platform, and Oracle Cloud Platform. And that is a very brittle system because, as we saw last year, AWS had an outage. It took out internet service for over 1,000 companies across multiple countries and multiple continents. So what we really want is to decentralize compute.
Oh, okay. So you're suggesting that people shouldn't necessarily put everything in the cloud. They should have their own hardware at a safe location that will run software for their business.
Absolutely. What I'm talking about is that's referred to as sovereign compute,
Okay.
sovereign data centers as opposed to public cloud.
Okay. So, and you're thinking the investment for a sovereign data center is in the tens of thousands?
Okay, so if we take a step back and we think about some of the market leaders and what they're saying, right? Like the Sam Altmans of the world, they're saying things like there's not enough energy in the world to run AI. And I'm sure you've heard them say that. And humbly speaking, that is a misleading statement. Having not enough energy in the world to run AI is a collateral damage problem, right? The underlying problem is an inefficiency problem brought about by the fact that our computers were never designed to run AI. And as a result, they're wholly inefficient at it. And that's causing servers to overheat, which is causing people to by expensive cooling systems, which is causing um, water supply to be drained down to the tune of millions of gallons of water a day to supply the water for these expensive cooling systems. And so we just have a cascading effect, a flywheel, if you will, of collateral damage problems just mounting, right? And so when you said, do we need to solve this problem, right, for just companies that use AI or produce software? And I would say, yes, that's true, but the problem has mushroomed into a giant cloud, and it affects everyone now. And the reason why it affects everyone is because more than two data centers, new data centers are built per week in the United States. And they are built mainly in opportunity zones. An opportunity zone is a geographic location that has been deemed to be economically challenged, right? So if a large company like Meta or Google comes in, they can take advantage of tax breaks. And so that's what's been happening. These large uh, tech companies have been going into opportunity zones, creating data centers. The data centers don't really create that many jobs. They've also been telling the utility companies that, hey, we're going to be building 4 or 5 data centers in your area. So you're going to be making a lot of money off of us. So you need to upgrade your grid.
Yeah, and that adds to the controversy around whether or not people should even okay having a data center in their communities. But back to what you were talking about in terms of making things run more efficiently, it's both a hardware and a software issue.
Yes. So what you want to do ideally is compound efficiency, right? If you want to solve a problem, you can't solve it downstream, right? You need to do what we call in engineering root cause analysis. And if you can figure out the source of the problem, right? Just like if you have a leak in your house, right? Your water is leaking somewhere, some pipe, right? You can patch different pipes, but eventually the water pressure is going to build up and you're going to have a leak somewhere else, right? So what you want to do is solve the leak or solve the problem at its source.
And sometimes that means putting in a whole new pipe or a different kind of pipe.
Right. And in this case, we're talking about a different type of solution altogether. And
Okay.
that different type of solution would be at the server level, right? Because we always said that our computers were never designed for AI. So ideally, we would want to redesign our computers for AI, redesign our chips for AI, which takes years to bring to the market. So what is the low-hanging fruit solution? That is a completely software solution that will drive such extreme efficiency at the server level
Okay.
that you're not going to need sophisticated cooling systems for your data center. You're not going to, and in turn, you're not going to be drawing down millions of gallons of water per year
Mhm.
to support that cooling system. And you're not going to need a nuclear power plant to power your data center.
Okay. So is your company one that's working on this software solution or?
Well, I'm an emerging fund manager. Um,
Okay.
so I have my investor hat on. And with my investor hat, I have been fortunate enough to find a group of startups that are solving this underlying inefficiency problem that
Okay.
will make the energy problem go away.
Well, that sounds absolutely fascinating. And if other investors want to talk to you about joining the group, we'll put some contact information into the comments so that people can find out more. This
That would
is
be great.
absolutely fascinating. And if you're a company that's working on solving this software issue, you should also talk to Marie. Thank you so much for coming. And I'm Mary Scott with Business Riff. I want startups to be wildly successful. And one of the first best things you can do to accomplish that is book a call with me at businessriff.com. And join us again next time for Stuck, Time to Improv.